Hey guys, it's your least favorite member of Horror Movie Night, Matt. I just got back from Wizard World Philadelphia, and something pretty cool happened while I was out there. I was walking around just kind of taking some video, which I'll hopefully be able to upload to our YouTube channel shortly. But while I was walking around, I recognized two names, and those names were Andre Gowan and Ryan Lambert, who are Rudy and Sean from Monster Squad. And as you guys know, we here at Horror Movie Night are obsessed with Monster Squad. It's one of our favorite movies. We talk about it all the time, and I figured why not talk to them. They have an awesome podcast called the Squadcast, so I talked to them about that for a little bit. And then I decided to take out my recorder and try to record a bit of the conversation. There was some live music happening nearby, so I'm not sure how good the quality is, but if it's not good, you probably won't even hear this, so it's not really that big of a deal. But I also wanted to tell you guys a quick story about someone else that I ran into while I was there, which was Chuck Russell. I didn't have any time to record my conversation with Chuck, but Chuck Russell, as you may remember, is the director of Dream Warriors and the Blob. So I talked to him for a little bit, and that was kind of cool. I really wish I had gotten some type of recording of that, but it was just a cool human moment of sitting there and talking to him about how much those movies mean to us, and he seemed genuinely touched of the praise that I threw his way. But I do want to share a statement that he said when I brought up the Blob. He said, "Oh, we got so much flack for killing a kid in that movie, and I just don't get it. Like, who cares?" Which I just think is a great statement. And if you ever get a chance to talk to Chuck Russell, absolutely do so, because he's a pretty cool, down-to-earth guy. This isn't a very long bonus episode, but it still felt like it was something worth sharing. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And talk to the guys who did Monster Squad.
Yeah.
It was like a need to do thing.
I hear you.
You're doing it.
And I listen to the Squadcast every well, I'd say every week, but whenever an episode comes out, I listen to Squadcast.
Right.
So how did that even happen? Like, what point, have you guys always remained friends, or did you guys just randomly bump into each other and decide to do a podcast after all these years?
We we've been buds ever since, like, kind of the resurge of Monster Squad happened.
Yeah.
Which was in Austin in 2006, 7?
2006, yeah.
2006. It's the first time that we kind of saw each other again after years and years and years. And we've been traveling, the country and doing cons. But then, we both moved back to LA almost at the same time. And started hanging out, started working on some projects together. And as we were working on these projects, we would be in the car talking, or we'd be in a coffee shop talking, and then we'd say, you know what, this is a podcast.
Yeah.
Why aren't we recording this? This is great. We're talking about the past. We're reminiscing about things. So we thought, let's just fucking record it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just mostly us sitting around shooting the shit and, being conversational and kind of being funny. We think we're funny. We crack ourselves up.
So I know that you've got a line for me, so I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to know, what were the thoughts when, going into taping Monster Squad? When you started filming it, what were your feelings of, did you think it would be this big thing? Then, additionally, the feelings when it wasn't as big as people had anticipated, and then finding out years later, the cult that it had created.
Right. Well, going into it, it was a pretty big production. It was a fairly big budget movie, big cast, a lot of makeup, a lot of effects, and so it was just this giant thing that was just kind of rad to be a part of. And it was 3.5 months straight of a lot of work. And then later on that year, the movie comes out, and you do all the press, and it does mediocre, if that's a kind word, in the box office, and then it just kind of goes away. But the dynamic that over the next 20 years that it found itself on HBO and in your local video store, we didn't really grasp the gravity of it until 2006 when we did that first reunion screening.
Yeah.
That everybody now had a centralized place to go and celebrate because we did that event, and then the internet was now around, and it went kaboom.
Yeah.
And so the last
I was one of those guys waiting for anything.
Yeah, the last 10 years since that has just been kind of this groundswell and growing of the fan base that was always there just now coming together.
Yeah.
So they're all just kind of floating around there on solo by themselves, but now they're all kind of like an army together now, and that's just only growing. I mean, we have second generation Monster Squad fans now that are 5, 6, 7, 15 years old that this is their favorite movie now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing.
And we always say I'd rather be a part of a dynamic like that's growing after 30 years and getting bigger
than a flash in the pan
than to be the number one movie a year that no one remembers.
And last question, what was your favorite monster design on the movie?
I thought our creature was really cool.
I still think it's the best looking creature.
Yeah, I mean, all of our monsters were great, but that was so much work in detail and one-piece latex suit that Tom Woodruff stayed in for 15, 16 hours at a time. That was crazy. You like?
Oh, my favorite creature was probably Robbie. Oh, you mean the monsters?
The monsters. The monsters.
I thought the Wolfman was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Wolfman that was actually the working, expression Wolfman that was actually a football helmet with the fur and the guys were underneath with the wires. Well, that was amazing to watch that
and
detail way back then.
The Wolfman transformation is my favorite wolf. I put it above American Werewolf in London because it scared me more as a kid because it was so quick and it just happened so rapidily.
Everybody always says those two are like they flip flop, back and forth to their favorite Wolfman transmission. CW. It's an insider. That's an inside joke.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Hey, man.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.